Episode 144. Who was it last night? Nanny Harper let out a yelp, and Nola was also startled. Jake reacted the fastest, immediately going to catch her with his arm. The sound of his knees knocking on the floor was terribly loud. As if he had not noticed the pain in his knees, Jake caught Serena and found her forehead covered in cold sweat. His heart aching, he couldn't help panicking and crying. "Doctor! Doctor!" The baby was actually less than 4 months old. Seeing it grow day by day, Lila Cox felt more and more panic. "You really think it is Jake Robinson's child?" Stephen Wrong's voice was like a nightmare, pestering her day and night. She kept thinking about it. In the beginning, she was calm. She was sure. But now, she woke up in the middle of the night, having nightmares every night. She had filled out more than half of the mom diary. Every day she would record her feelings in it. However, if it was not Jake's child, what was the point in doing that? After some thoughts, Lila Cox decided to go to Nola Robinson again. No matter how difficult Captain Robinson was, Nola would not abandon her, right? After all, she owed it to Lila Cox. When she came to Nola, Carson wasn't at home, and Nola was doing some flower arrangements with Emma, the house help. After sending the maid away, Lila directly asked, "Auntie, have you figured it out yet?" Nola's smile froze as she said in a fret, "Lila, darling, you know that Serena is Captain Robinson's favorite. You made such a scene at the press conference. It's not that I don't want to help you. Captain Robinson and Jake's dad are both blaming me. And Captain even went to stay with Jake because of me. If anything happens now, how can I live in this family?" Lila felt reluctant. "But I'm carrying your grandson." "Lila, listen to me. You should probably get rid of this baby. If you insist on having him, he will not have a father. You know how stubborn Jake is. Once he has made up his mind, it is not going to change." "No way!" Lila gritted her teeth. "Auntie, even you are against me now. You know very well how I have treated you. Back in the day, my younger brother—" Before she finished, Nola's hand, which was trimming the flowers, shuddered, and her face became pale. Nola bristled. "That's enough!" Lila knew that she had hit Nola Robinson's weakness, gritted her teeth, and continued, "Auntie, I saw clearly what had happened. Enough!" Nola's face turned blue. "You are threatening me!" "No, I'm just reminding you. Auntie, after all, I'm carrying your son, Jake's son. All you have to do is keep the child in the Robinson family. That is a kind thing to do, isn't it?" Nola wavered. Overjoyed, Lila continued, "Serena's mother must have done something to Captain Robinson. Otherwise, how could that kind of girl be married to someone like our Jake?" Nola did indeed dislike Serena as a daughter-in-law. Glancing at Lila, she asked directly, "Is it really Jake's?" "Auntie, the polygraph belongs to the military. How can there be any mistake?" When saying that, Lila was feeling anxious. She knew that the reason the polygraph test came out clean was that she had believed that her baby was Jake's. However, if Stephen Wrong did not lie to her, the more she thought about it, the more unsure she felt. She had determined that the man that night was Jake Robinson. But in fact, she was pushed down in bed before she even had a chance to look at his face. Maybe it was not Jake. Stephen did say that he had hacked the video, which meant he had seen the video. So, what was the truth? Lila was not sure. Looking at Nola, she gritted her teeth and said, "If you really doubt it, let's do a DNA test." "Okay. I'll ask Jake to—" "No, I don't want him to know." Jake was too smart to be fooled. "Let's go ourselves and do a grandfather-grandson test." The baby was only 11 weeks old. The doctor suggested against the amniocentesis and warned Lila about its risks, but she still insisted. She could no longer wait. If it was his baby, she would take extra care of it. But if it wasn't, Lila did not even dare to think about it and braced herself to lie down in the hospital bed. When the needle pierced her belly, her only thought was, "Baby, please be good." Nola had ordered an expedited test, and Lila went back to the hospital herself after Nola left, paying extra to get the waiting time shortened to 6 hours. After 6 hours, Lila Cox arrived on schedule, and Mrs. Cox accompanied her. Holding her daughter's hand, Mrs. Cox was standing beside Lila, who felt a bit uncomfortable in her belly, anxious and hopeful about the test results. However, when Mrs. Cox got the result, she was dumbfounded. Seeing her reaction, Lila was very nervous. With her hands shaking, she took the test report, and a series of zeros left her dazed. Mrs. Cox's expression changed from expectation to despair. Turning around, she slapped Lila hard in the face. "Didn't you say that the baby is Jake's? How could this happen?" Lila's face quickly became swollen. Staring at the test result, she felt incredulous and muttered, "How is that possible?" If it was not Jake's that night, who could it be? Recently, her boss had been working late in the company, which made Miranda Young's work a lot easier. Since she started to work for Jake Robinson 3 years ago, Miranda could count the days that she went home on a schedule with one hand. Thinking that she was going to have another relaxed day, Miranda suddenly got a call from him. Complaining inwardly, she quickly picked up and greeted him. "Mr. Robinson?" "Go to Star City and hire 20 bodyguards and 20 nannies. Get them ready by tomorrow." Miranda was startled. Hearing his dangerous and dark tone, she asked nervously, "What happened?" Jake never liked to use the help. And Star City, it appeared to be a bustling casino, but was in fact the largest and most mysterious transaction house in Austin. All the bodyguards and nannies from that place were dummies, and each of them cost millions. Many noble families had a preference for people like that. But what did Jake need them for? Instead of answering her, Jake said, "Contact Drake. Ask him to investigate into the DNA registry system of Austin's first military hospital." "Yes, sir." Hearing Miranda's answer, Jake hung up and called up his older brother, Alex Robinson. "Brother, do me a favor." Getting a call from Jake was something rare for Alex Robinson. Surprised, he asked, "Are there things that even my dear baby brother cannot fix?" "Yes. Help me to investigate into someone. Charlie Wrong's nephew, Stephen Wrong."